Kentwell is Founding Director of PRD Nationwide Newcastle and Lake Macquarie, and in less than 10 short years has grown the business to over 50 staff across 3 office locations, as well as establishing Safe Hands Property Management and Newcastle New Projects. Since winning the Hunter Business Young Achiever Award in 2010 and being a finalist in the New South Wales Young Business Person of the Year, he has gone on to be awarded the prestigious Australian Principal of the Year Regional across all brands in the 2014 Real Estate Awards. Mark's passions align with the values of being innovative, successful and respectful, and he is inspired by other leaders who, like him, value life as a whole and not just business alone. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Let's begin with what path led you to where you are now.
Okay, so the summarised version is that I left school at the end of Year 11, start of Year 12. I really wanted to get into the workforce. Even though I'd done really well in my scores through the school certificate, I was starting to become distracted and I just wanted to get out and sort of get my hands on a job and making some money and sort of choose my own adventure a little bit. I did apply for a number of apprenticeships and I ended up in the mines chasing the money. I did a dual trade apprenticeship there and I started investing quite early in property. From 19 I had my first house, second one by 21 and a couple of other assets, but I realised that the mines probably wasn't my long-term passion. Whilst I was okay at the work and contributed just like any other, I wasn't passionate about it. So I started looking for other things. I was managing bands and events in my spare time. And I ended up doing a certificate in real estate just to keep my partner at the time company, because I was on night shift and I did it during the day. And I just fell in love with it straight away. So I said, this could be me. I had a conversation around the dinner table with my father, who was in commercial real estate at the time, and we talked about going out together. So I sold an investment property, took a voluntary redundancy from the mines at age 23 and started a real estate business from scratch.
Looking at the real estate industry and property management in general, is there anything about the industry that you'd like to change?
I'd like to see some more transparency in things like negotiations. I've been changing the face of auctions in Australia for some time with the friendly auction system, which started right here in Newcastle. And now I'm speaking at Australian Real Estate Conference this year to 5,000 agents. And there are training programs in place to bring that into place across the country. It's a consumer-driven auction system that makes auctions friendlier on buyers, so therefore better for all parties.
And are there any specific experiences that have shaped the leader you are today?
I suppose we had a standard start to business in that we had to overcome a lot of adversity and really find our core points of difference and work harder than anyone else to get through that first couple of years. I'd been told that only 50% of businesses make it through the first 2 years and 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So I was really keen to get through those 2 barriers. But in working so hard to do that, we also grew quite rapidly, brought on staff, opened different branches, and that rapid growth brings a whole extra set of skills that you're just forced to learn and adapt to. So when you look back, you've actually you've learned a whole lot of skills that you didn't have before by dealing with competitors trying to cut you down, dealing with HR and the emotional side of business and having people work for you. So those experiences of daily business growth actually shape the type of leader that you become in the future.
Looking at the business now, how do you define the difference between a manager and a leader?
I see a manager more as a problem solver. There's someone that's obviously looking at a set of predefined guidelines that a staff member needs to be working within and making sure they're performing to that. They're measuring against KPIs and measuring against, a set of standards. But they're effectively dealing with what's in front of them at that time and a fairly medium-term view at the longest of how someone's performing and how a division is going. With the leader, I think it's a much more helicopter view. I think that you're rising a lot further above the scenery that's going on around you. And whilst you need to be analysing certain situations as they pop up and hearing from managers, as a leader, you are really looking at where the overall pieces of the puzzle fit together and where things need to go moving forward. So everything that's happening in relation to a leader, you're always seeing how does this fit into the greater picture? How does this get us towards where we want to go? And most importantly, you're setting the direction as well, and then being courageous enough to follow through with that direction even when some sticky situations come your way.
And finally, what local leader do you find inspiring?
I probably couldn't pin it down to one. I think there's probably a couple of local leaders that I find inspiring in different ways for different reasons. One guy that's really got it together as far as the vision and values within his businesses is Paul Sidorovsky. He owns a chartered accountants called Sidcor, but he's also just started the Yogurtland franchises. And he's a very courageous leader. He's right out there a lot of the time, pushing the boundaries of what you can do in business and how much you can get out of your people. And he's a guy that also rose quite quickly when he went into his own business. And a lot of traditional operators would have probably looked at that and thought, he'll never make it. And he's just kept on pushing and pushing and growing. And he's been willing to go into a completely different venture, being the Yogurtland, which seems to be working quite well, looking from the outside in. Jamie Aratoon, he's become a friend of mine, but also he's a developer that I've watched since before I got into real estate. Very proud of his product and what he does, and he likes to leave a legacy on every building or development he does. But probably what's inspiring about Jamie is that he's been very big on making sure that he fits in a bit of fun around all the work that goes on, because you can get absolutely swallowed up with being an entrepreneur and being driven and motivated. So he's big on his health, big on having fun and lots of travel. And it's been a healthy reminder for me to see someone like that that's sort of 10 years or so ahead of me in my career, because there's certainly key points where you've got the decision whether you go on a holiday or whether you keep working, and he's been good to remind me of that. And another friend and business associate, Nathan Wright, he's got a background in mining as well, and has tried a few different businesses, and they've all been successful in different ways. I met him through property, but he's now got a business called Funder that does short-term loans and helps companies sell products between $1,000 and $5,000 on credit, and that business is going extremely well. It's been a completely different venture for him, and he's another guy who values family, values his health, and likes to have a bit of fun as well. So I think when I look at leaders that are inspiring, they're people that value life as a whole and not just the business on its own.
Thank you so much for your time today, Mark.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure to contribute.
You can find Mark on Twitter and LinkedIn.